Your Galaxy Watch 9 survives the gym, the rain, even the occasional drop, but this one thing still cracks the screen in seconds. We checked 5 of the top-selling case and protector combos to find out which ones actually protect it and which ones just look like they do. Stick around, because the one that actually earns a Best for Watch 9 label is not the one you'd guess from the photos. Number 5. Tensea Screen Protector Case set for Galaxy Watch 8 44mm. Starting at number 5, the one that needs the most caution. This is a Tensea multi-pack built for the Galaxy Watch 8 at 44mm. The listing does not mention Watch 9 compatibility anywhere, so if you're buying for a Watch 9, this is the first one to skip unless you physically confirmed fit against your own unit. Setting the compatibility question aside for a second, here's what you're actually getting. A hard PC bumper case sold separately from the tempered glass film rather than one fused piece. That's a meaningful structural difference from the rest of this list. Every other case here builds the glass into the case as one unit. Tensea splits them, which means you're doing 2 installs instead of 1. Seat the case, then separately align and press down the glass. More steps means more chances for a trapped air bubble or a corner that doesn't seat flush against the bezel, which is exactly the kind of lip clearance problem that shows up as a lifted corner a week later. The case itself does what a basic bumper is supposed to do. It wraps the sides, leaves cutouts for the crown and side button, and snaps on without tools. Samsung's own smartwatches don't have a headphone jack or a wired charging port to worry about clearance for, so that part of the equation is simple. The material is described as anti-fog on the touch layer, meaning moisture from sweat or a hand wash shouldn't cause phantom touches. That's the brand's own framing, not an independently measured result. The honest catch here is twofold: the device generation mismatch and the 2-piece install. If you're set on this exact multi-pack, treat it as a Watch 8 product first and a might fit a Watch 9 product second. Verdict: best for Watch 8 owners who want a cheap multi-pack and don't mind a 2-piece install. Not the pick if you specifically own a Watch 9 and want confirmed fit. If you want the glass built in instead of a separate film you have to align yourself, number 4 solves that. But it trades away the Watch 9 compatibility question in a different way. Number 4. Julk case with built-in screen protector for Galaxy Watch 8 40mm. Julk's case is also sold specifically for the new 2025 Galaxy Watch 8 at 40mm, and the listing states plainly it's not designed for other Galaxy Watch models. So again, if your Watch 9 happens to share the 40mm shell dimensions closely enough to physically snap on, you're relying on a coincidence of sizing, not a confirmed fit from the manufacturer. What sets this one apart structurally is the built-in tempered glass. One piece pre-fused to the case, so there's no separate alignment step and no seam where the lip could lift a loose corner later. That solves the exact 2-piece install problem we just hit with the Tensea case. The listing describes 9H hardness glass with 99% light transmittance, which is a fairly standard spec for tempered glass in this category. Where we have to pump the brakes is on 2 specific marketing lines from the listing: a claimed sub-5 millisecond touch response and a claim of 200% improved shock dispersion versus unnamed standard cases. Neither of those numbers comes with a testing methodology, an independent lab, or a named comparison baseline. That's brand copy, not a verified figure, so treat both as unproven until you've handled the unit yourself. On button feel, the cutouts are cut close to the case's crown and side button, which the listing frames as preserving access without extra bulk. But because we haven't handled a physical unit, we can't confirm whether the crown still turns with its normal resistance or feels dampened under the case lip. Verdict: best for Watch 8 owners who want a 1-piece install with no separate glass to align. If you own a Watch 9, don't assume the 40mm sizing is a safe substitute. Confirm with the seller first. 2 down, and neither one is actually built for your Watch 9. At number 3, the case at least dresses the part with real stainless steel, but the size problem doesn't go away. Number 3. Letoid 3-in-1 metal case for Galaxy Watch 8 44mm. Letoid steps the material up a tier. Instead of an all-plastic bumper, this is a 3-piece build. A stainless steel bezel, a hard PC back cover, and a 9H tempered glass film, all sold as one 3-in-1 case, specifically for the Galaxy Watch 8 at 44mm. Again, the listing is explicit about the 44mm Watch 8 fit and does not list the Watch 9 as a compatible model. The metal bezel is the actual differentiator here. A stainless ring around the glass reads more like the metal trim on the watch itself, rather than the visibly plastic lip you get on a straight PC bumper. That's a legitimate cosmetic and rigidity upgrade over both cases we've covered so far. Stainless is also naturally more scratch and dent resistant at the edge than PC, which is the part of a watch case that takes the most contact against door frames and desks. The brand describes the case as abrasion-resistant, rust-proof, and waterproof, but those are self-reported claims on the listing rather than a named certification like an IP rating. Samsung certifies the Watch 9's own water resistance separately, and adding a third-party case doesn't inherit or extend that rating. If you're someone who showers or swims with the watch on, that's worth knowing before you rely on this case for anything beyond splash protection. On grip and pocket friction, metal-edged cases like this tend to sit smoother against a sleeve or jacket cuff than a soft-touch silicone case would, but they can also feel slicker in hand during a workout. A fair trade if you're prioritizing looks and rigidity over sweaty hand grip. Verdict: best for Watch 8 owners who want a dressier, metal-edged look. For Watch 9 owners, this is a hard pass unless Letoid confirms compatibility directly. The listing gives no indication it fits. Here's the pattern interrupt. 3 cases in, and none of them list your watch by name. Number 2 changes that entirely, and it's the one pick on this list Watch 9 owners can actually trust. Number 2. Dochin 3-pack case with screen protector for Galaxy Watch 8/9, 44mm. This is the one product on the list where Samsung Galaxy Watch 9 owners can actually shop with confidence. Dochin's listing states this case is compatible with the Galaxy Watch 9 at 44mm and the Galaxy Watch 8 at 44mm, and explicitly rules out Watch 7, 6, 5, and 4, meaning the seller has specifically accounted for the Watch 9's dimensions rather than just reusing an old Watch 8 listing. It comes as a 3-pack. 3 identical hard PC cases, each with a built-in tempered glass layer, plus a cleaning cloth and wipes. If you're the type of person who swaps cases based on outfit or activity, or you just want backups on hand for when one gets scuffed, the 3-pack format is the practical draw here, since you're not stuck ordering 3 separate times if one gets lost or cracks. The honest catch is water resistance. The listing is direct about this. It states the case is not waterproof and instructs you to remove it before swimming or showering, and to dry it out if moisture gets trapped underneath. That's a meaningful limitation for a smartwatch that's built to handle sweat and rain on its own. Put simply, this case is designed for daily scratch and drop protection, not for wearing it into the pool. On fit, because the case is built with the Watch 9's actual button and crown placement in mind, rather than an 8th-generation mold stretched to fit, cutout alignment should track more precisely with your unit than the 3 cases before it, though we'd still recommend a quick visual check against your watch's crown position once it arrives. Verdict: best for Watch 9 owners who want confirmed compatibility and don't mind removing the case before water activities. The safest buy on this list if fit is your top priority. And at number 1, we swing back to the material upgrade from earlier, just without the confirmed Watch 9 fit that made the Dochin case the safe choice. Number 1. Ador metal case with screen protector for Galaxy Watch 8 44mm. Ador closes out the list, and it's another metal and glass build. A 2-in-1 design combining a metal accented bumper, a hard PC back cover, and a built-in 9H tempered glass film, listed specifically for the Galaxy Watch 8 at 44mm. Like the Letoid case, there's no mention of Watch 9 compatibility on this particular listing, so the same. Caution applies. Don't assume the 44mm sizing carries over cleanly between generations. What separates this from the Letoid pick is the pack format. Ador ships as a single case rather than a 2-pack, and the glass is built directly into the case as one piece rather than a separate stainless bezel wrapping a distinct back cover. That makes install simpler. One snap, done. But it also means if the glass ever develops a scratch, you're replacing the entire case rather than just a film layer. We found a separate Ador listing for the 40mm Watch 8 size that specifically advertises wireless charging compatibility, meaning the case doesn't block the watch's charging puck from making contact. That's a genuinely useful spec if it carries over to this 44mm version, but since it isn't stated on this exact listing, we're not going to claim it applies here without confirmation. On button feel, a metal edge design like this typically preserves a firmer, more defined click on the side button than an all-plastic molded cutout would, since the rigid metal doesn't flex and absorb your press the way softer plastic can. Though again, that's a structural inference from the material, not a measured result from our own hands-on test. Verdict: best for Watch 8 owners who want the metal and glass look in a single case format rather than a 2-pack. For Watch 9 owners, treat this the same as the Letoid pick, attractive but unconfirmed for your device. So here's where that leaves you, sorted by what you actually need. If you own a Galaxy Watch 9 and want a case the seller has actually confirmed fits your watch, Dochin is the only one on this list that says so in writing. Just remember to pull it off before you shower or swim. If you own a Galaxy Watch 8 and want the dressiest look, Letoid and Ador both bring a metal and glass build. Letoid gives you a 2-pack and a distinct stainless bezel. Ador gives you a single case with the glass fused straight in. If you own a Watch 8 and just want the cheapest functional multi-pack, Tensea and Julk both get the job done. Julk saves you a step with its built-in glass. Tensea splits the case and film into 2 pieces you install separately. And if you're a Watch 9 owner still weighing your options beyond this list, check the fine print before you buy anything. Fits Galaxy Watch in a thumbnail doesn't mean fits your Galaxy Watch. That's the list. Links to every case are down in the description, in the same order we covered them. If this saved you from an accidental Watch 8 order, drop a like and subscribe for more of these before you buy it breakdowns.